Hello, Twitch and or YouTube. Get pumped, get hype. I have a stream going on today, and it's a juicy one. Got strong intent going on here. I'm going to be continuing a rollout of my create-typescript-app package to a bunch of my other repos. I've got a lot of existing PRs, and I'm going to add to that list. I learned today the word, I love this, Preptember, referring to September being the month before October, aka Hacktoberfest, where people prepare for Hacktoberfest in Preptember, and I like this. So I'm going to be Chrissy first. Well done. Claps. Good to see you again today. How you doing? I'm going to be continuing making PRs based on this tracking issue. Good, good. Posting on the socials. Boop, boop. For anyone new, hello, I'm Josh. I'm a full-time open source maintainer in the TypeScript ecosystem, working on projects like TypeScript ESLint and this lovely Create TypeScript app package. So if any of y'all have questions on TypeScript, development, open source, whoosy whatsits, whatever you want to call it all, hit me up. Always happy to chat. I'm also going to try to remember to always post things in the chat. Let me know if I'm doing stuff and you don't have a link and you can't find it. What I'm doing here in this tracking issue is kind of an iterative process where I've got all sorts of different repos under my purview in some way or another, whether it's something I created and maintain, or that with another person as a maintainer, or just someone else's repo that I'm also in some way a maintainer or contributor on. And everything that I have large amount of control on, I'm moving onto this template because this template has all the juice, all the things that I really like to have. It's got a lot of linting, so, you know, top-notch code. A lot of bugs can be caught automatically, style inconsistencies, etc. This template also sets up a whole bunch of like GitHub automations and workflows and templates to make it easier for people to contribute, which makes me happy. Just helps offset the fact that there is a lot of linting, which makes it, you know, a little harder to contribute because you have to deal with things, learn the tools. So for Preptember, I'm trying to get through and roll it out to all my repos. Got a bunch of them that have in progress PRs. A few of them are blocked. Specifically, I think I'm going to rename my emoji explosion package. I love this name so much. To a name like Emoji Blast, something that actually like is searchable. The package is great. Oh no, it's not on this site. If you go to like my personal site, up, down, down, left, right, BA, the keyboard, the little fireworks blasts. Also, if you click the heart in my footer, you can trigger them. It's always fun. So I also have another emoji key situation going on. Most of the repos that are already based off the template and that you can see on GitHub they're generated from, link to the CTA, Create TypeScript template. Most of them already have in progress PRs, but there's one last one I'm going to start with, and I'm going to move to the repos that are just floating standalone ones, as in they weren't generated from the template, they predate it. Okie dokie. So first one up, TS function inliner. We don't need to go too deep into any of these repos today, what they do, etc., because we're mostly just working on their tooling. But just to quickly overview it, TS function inliner, it's a little TypeScript transform that inlines calls to small functions. Fun fact, you can, in TypeScript ecosystem land, write little transforms that change your output code. TypeScript itself doesn't support transforms. There's a concept of a TypeScript config or tsconfig plugin. But there is tooling that lets you use them, such as gulp TypeScript. So like this can be used with gulp TypeScript to change from like this function is not falsy with is not falsy hello to just not hello. So that's cool. Anyway, let's see, what do I have? Got my work terminal, so code, TS function. I don't have it installed on this computer. So git repo clone. Just copy and paste this into warp. Code TS function inliner. Most of my packages, especially ones that were generated from this template have some amount of the template's tooling already. Like this one already uses PNPM instead of like, oh wait, it doesn't use PNPM. It's still on Yarn. Ah! So yeah, the tooling. So if I run npx create-typescript-app, it'll do a bunch of prompts to offer me to swap things over, such as migrate an existing repo. TypeScript tea time. I'm good. I'm excited today. I'm doing things. How are you doing? So just going through the basic info. TS function inliner is the name. Whoa, where did this description come from? Ha! Look at this. The package JSON has the template's description. That's wrong. That's why I'm aligning things. Here we go. Looks like the zap emoji is one that I use here. TS. I say title case title the repo, but half of mine I just put the case anyway. LOL. How much tooling do I want it to set up for you? Everything. All the things. Side note, I got a new fan, little desk fan, and it's pointed away from my mic, but y'all should let me know if it becomes audible, because no more overheating and then sweating and then getting cat hair all up in my face and then getting annoyed and then being gross on stream. Life is good. So this thing is pointed there. Messing with my lights here. Okay. Anyway, it is audible. I'll just turn it off. Thanks for letting me know. I'll turn it back on if I need it. The room temperature right now is nice and chill relative to how it normally is at start. So thanks for letting me know. Cool. I'm sure my cats like it hotter. Anyway, this installing packages will take a while. So I'll note there is just kind of a set of stuff that I already know is buggy in the migrator tool that I'm going to have to clean up. And I have issues filed for things that I already know. For example, the migrator like wipes your index file and your types TS file and just plops its own on there. So let's revert that. Also, this new greets.test.ts thing. Let's remove those. Whoa. My thing is making changes. The little feature I added to the template recently is it'll print out a pre-populated command you can use to run like the same settings again. Because there was a pain in the butt constantly typing those out. Issue 123. Let's put that in the chat and pin it. There you go. All right. So now my job is to go through all the files and see which changes I should keep versus discard. And I've done this for a bunch of repos, so I'll probably blaze through it. Ryota Murakami, so nice to see you. This is a person who's been contributing on GitHub, and we've been chatting about it on Twitter. It's really nice to see you. Good night. I'm shook you were awake at 3:40 a.m. That's horrifying. I hate being up that long. It happens more often than I'm happy about, thanks to my inability to control myself. But thanks for coming in. Have a nice night. Bye. Ooh. So I keep finding myself wanting to add no floating promises to our project, but since we don't use the linter rules that require type and forget, I can't seem to find the time to add no floating promises. What would be the easiest way to add only no floating promises? Ooh, love it. Ooh, what's Konbanha? Is that like the opposite of Konnichiwa? Is that like a good night? I love it. I've only been to Japan once, which is annoying because I'd like that number to be higher. Freaking love Japan. Oh, it's good evening. Very nice. Thank you. Konbanha. I never used to understand in high school why a lot of Americans, especially like American teenagers, get like so into Japanese culture, like anime and sushi and everything. Like I like a lot of those things, especially the sushi, the food, the okonomiyaki. And then I went to Japan and was like, okay, I get it. I get why people get so into this. That's like the most like typical happy American tourist, just like bouncing around everywhere with a giant smile. Yeah. Anyway, yes. So what would be the easiest way to add only no floating promises? Great question. I'm going to go off. I actually dislike most anime. LOL. I'm going to go off the guide on TypeScript eslint.io. I'm going to paste it in the chat for reference, but that's not a go read the docs. That's just like as like an ancillary info. So we do have a page on specifically enabling type information, but I'm going to switch away from I'm not going to do exactly this. What I'm going to do is instead I'm going to say if you want to just enable one rule, instead of extending from didn't know the end price is great. Yeah, so instead of extending from like recommended rule sets, you may or may not be extending from stuff already. I'm just not going to touch that. I'm going to say you can always enable a single rule. Example, no TypeScript slit, no floating promises. Error. You can always do that. Didn't mean to hit save. There's also a project called ESLint Nibble, which might be useful. From Newman-Shooting, I believe. Oh, I keep forgetting to start, I guess. ESLint Nibble's nice because oftentimes if you haven't enabled one of the more powerful rules, then you'll have a lot of complaints and they'll be kind of annoying to clean up. So ESLint Nibble will let you ease into it. Yeah, so parser options rules is the main. Yes, just removing extra stuff. Plugins is necessary because otherwise you won't have the rules loaded in. Plugins says these are the lists of configs, like the configs which contain lists of rules and preset configs that I need to load in. Yeah, so that vocab I use is wrong. Basically, you need plugins TypeScript ESLint to load in TypeScript ESLint rules, so that's necessary. Even before then, yeah, parser, TypeScript ESLint parser, so that you're using the TypeScript parser for your code. If you want to use type information, such as no floating promises, as you said, parser options, project true is really good. Necessary to have something for project. You can specify specific TS configs to try in order. Config ESLint.json or whatnot, but true just says go to the closest one named tsconfig.json. And then a nice little thing, tsconfig router. Sometimes people will accidentally delete the tsconfig, so this stops the parser from looking higher than your repo. So yeah, parser options, plugins. Root true also says this is the root ESLint config. Don't look higher for nested parent configs. And then yes, rules. So this is the basic, minimum reasonable good thing to do, no floating promises. And if you really wanted to be bleed, you could remove these two, but I don't recommend it. Cool, yeah, good luck with that. Let me know how that goes. Anyway, back to function in liner. So, I have a bunch of changes I need to make. A lot of these are going to be pretty straightforward. I can tell from from this that I seeded this project with a lot of contributions for me, and then the migrator was like, okay, better remove them. They're in the history, but I'm just gonna revert these changes because I did all these things for TS function liner. I did fix bugs, write code, give examples. LOL. I don't know what that skip CI is there for. It's no longer in the template. ESLint ignore. We want to ignore the coverage directory. This repo was made before I think my template even had test coverage. Dist, it's now, everything's moved to lib instead of dist. I don't remember what that whole investigation was, why I prefer one or the other, but I like lib. And then there's an example directory that we don't lint. So that's cool. The biggest, floating promises are annoying. Don't even get me started. The biggest change that I tend to see in my migrations is this giant ESLint config that I've built up over time. It's only going to get bigger over time. But let's see here. I've added rules for JSON and rules for JS docs and YAML files and tests. I used to use simple import sort as a plugin. Now I use plugin perfectionist, which does more sorting. Same with this plugin, TypeScript sort keys, not there. Great. So for the most part, this is fine. I'll run lint in the CLI and then see if I need to touch anything up. Boop. Git ignore, yep, coverage lib, markdown lint. I had removed a couple of rules. Aha, because this was written before markdown lint style prettier. In a V2 with a template, I might switch from markdown lint to an ESLint solution. That'd be nice. Markdown lint ignore, yep. I should remove the dist directory while I'm here, just in case it doesn't already exist. or it exists and isn't empty. Yeah, I moved from npm ignore to the package JSON, files, everything under lib, nothing under source. So that's fun. Okay, there's an existing bug where it swipes out the version, which was 1.0. The sorting changed. It used to be alphabetical, then there's like a standard prettier plugin people use to just go with like a community loved order, which I'm not super into, but whatever. All right, a lot of scripts, descriptions. Inlines needs to be added to my C spell. Look at that word. A little blue squiggle means the spell checker doesn't like it. It's another tool I added. Dokie dokie. npm package lint JSON RC. npm package JSON lint is another tool that I, in a v2 of the template, might just move into ESLint. nvmrc, new file, 1817.1. Prettier ignore. Yep, coverage lid PNPM lock, and then all contributors RC. Actually, I don't even think we need to prettier ignore the all contributors RC anymore, because that is that is a fixed issue. That all contributors, the tool that auto generates your all contributors RC, now respects an existing prettier config. So I'm actually going to file an issue on this. Hooray! And this is probably a good first issue. Just remove this from the prettier ignore. Yay! Alright, so tooling. Remove all contributors RC from prettier ignore. We go to prettier ignore and copy the permalink for it. That's all contributors CLI issue. I'll just get to it. It's now resolved. So we should be able to remove the line from prettier ignore. Yay! And this is a nice little feature. And it's a good first issue because it's just a removal of code. Though I will note, there is a template file, prettier ignore, that'll need to be updated. Also, I like to note this in the good first issue, if there's anything else to do, so that people don't get confused. Note that the template template for prettier ignore will also need to have to be updated. Remove the lines. Cool. Filed an issue. Oh, and I have a milestone. Post rename migration containing all the little touch-ups and bugs and whatnot that I've discovered from this work. And yes, there are quite a few of them, 17. Which reminds me, I actually wanted to set the due date for this as end of the month, September 30th, so that I can start off Hacktoberfest fresh. Cool beans. So let's post this issue on first follow-up, improve this issue of the day. I'm going to turn on my fan on low just a little bit. Pardon me. It works, kind of. Love to hear it. Why is Blue Sky still giving me this error? I was getting it last week. People, fix your crap. Oh, does no floating promises not trigger when you assign the promise to a variable? That's correct. And it always was that way, yes. As long as the promise is given somewhere, then the rule is happy. Whether you use the variable appropriately is up to you. No one use variable detection works well here, but the rule doesn't have the ability to reasonably figure out whether that variable is passed to a place that then handles things. Like, what happens if you pass the variable to a function? Does the rule then have to evaluate what that function handles the promise? Could be very expensive. So we unfortunately are just flat out saying if the promise is directly handled or passed to something like a variable or just as a function argument, good to go. I would have loved to have a way to make it a little more strict, but nothing ergonomic, as they say, that we could find. Good question. Love to hear it. And I'm glad it's working, kind of, even though it may or may not be catching everything. Such is life. But okay, pretty or ignore. Yeah. Better to help a little than not at all, right? Prettier RC. I feel like... thought there was a different extension. Okay. Release it. Yep. This package was made before I set up auto releases with release it. Is there a semantic release mentioned anywhere? Yeah. This release RC file is from the semantic release tool, which I used to use before release it. Semantic release is great. It's got a lot of nice features built in, but and this really irritates me. It does not support 0.x versions. I appreciate you, T-Time. There's an issue somewhere that they intentionally just marked it as out of scope, and that it like fundamentally goes against my personal belief of how Semver should be interpreted. So, opinions. Anyway, C-spell, a lot of additions here. Ignore paths. I don't know why I was ignoring all of YAML. I think I can just ignore .github, basically the same. Dist-to-lib, node modules, also change log coverage, PnPm lock, great. Commit lint is there, as well as inlines. Boop. Nip. Nice new tool that detects unused dependencies, exports, and so on. What I'm going to do actually is PnPm npm pdupe, clear PnPm lint nip. This installs packages, and then actually I don't even need to install. I can just dedupe, which just deduplicates packages in your PnPm lock, and then I'm going to lint nip to see if I have anything, any unnecessary dependencies. In the meantime, tsconfig.eslint was added. I just filed an issue before the stream. I want to add no emit to tsconfig. Yep, tsup is a bundler that I added to the template after this repo was made. vtest, there are now tests in this template. Let's go with that. The template knows to delete yarn.look. I love that. Code of conduct, switch that to GitHub at Josh K. Goldberg. Contributing. I believe I moved this little getting started friends little blurb to development. Some typo fixes and such. Little extra issue, claiming, draft PRs, etc. Info. Very good, very good. Dependabots. I no longer use Dependabot because it doesn't have a... It used to be called stability days. What is that config called? Renovate stability days. Anyway, Renovate, a competitor to Dependabot, has a feature where you can wait. Oh yeah, a minimum release age, a certain number of days before updating to a new version of package. It's really nice because if a package has a malicious release, I would prefer not to let it run in my CI, and the community normally jumps on those pretty quickly. Hey Connor, how's it going? Glad to see you here. PnPm can be your node manager too. I didn't know that. Do you have docs? Might be a good thing for the template to add. T-Time, by the way, was it me who pointed me at MP Kill? If so, thank you so much. You're welcome. Oh, I think I know of MP Kill. It's a great tool. Oh, PnPm doesn't get supported. Did they have a thing? I feel like I saw PnPm React Native recently. They like added support for it. Did they? Thanks. Yeah, since switching to PnPm, my disk space usage has just gone down. It's so nice because PnPm, for those who haven't tried it out, has like one global store for all your packages and symlinks nicely so that you don't have a bajillion copies. Really nice. Okay, let's see how knip went. Yes, everything was semantic release. Completely unnecessary because I now use release it. Why is ddent mentioned somewhere? I must have previously used it. I don't know what that's for. Let's get rid of it. Semantic release. Yep, let's get rid of that. TS loader. This is probably used in examples. Yeah? No? What was this repo using tsloader for? Let's take a look. So what I've been doing once in a while. Ooh. Connor, if you're interested, would you be up for filing this on the template? I wonder if it would make just like an investigation issue, like, hey, should we use this? Because if it can replace NVMRC or like has some features to use in the template, that'd be really nice. Yeah, what I've been using recently is github.dev just to like see the state of the repo, like if I'm looking for whether something's used. Doesn't look like it is. So thank you, Knip, for finding the unnecessary tsloader dependency. Same with gulp TypeScript, but that's actually in gulp file, which means I need to know that example gulp file JS is an entry point, and then also spell checking it. PMI, dedupe, clear, litnip. Thanks, Connor. Ugh, that dependency toolchain combination of PNPM, Jest, React Native, I can definitely empathize if there were weird conflicts there. It is not easy to get all those things to work together. See you around, T-Time. Thanks for coming by. Let's remove dependabot. Make sure it's not found anywhere. Yep. Ooh, unresolved imports. Dist index.js. Example gulp file. You know, I'm just gonna how should I do this? Can I ignore? Oh, it's lib index now, I think. Because it no longer publishes to dist. I'm just switching it to lib. Yep. Awesome. Tip is happy. Yeah, managing node installs. I know Core-Pack is becoming more of a thing, but it's slow going in a lot of repos. Alright, so Knip is happy. My package is looking happy. Name, type, versions, scripts, just make sure I'm not missing anything. No more semantic release, author description, yep. NPM lock. README, let's see. Oh yeah, the README is always a whole thing. So there's a existing bug where the template doesn't detect that you have the center description and the badges already, so I've just been deleting the existing thing, and then we see the updates in line. Oh, hey Jason, thanks for reading. I was actually just watching your stream, but I was lurking. So thanks, appreciate the shout out. Whoever just shouted out Jason, thank you for doing that. Ryan, was that you? Todd, thanks for coming, y'all. Boop. Hey everyone. I'll just give a quick context since y'all are joining. Welcome. 66 people plus 3 existing. 69. Nice. So I'm working on rolling out my template TypeScript node package, now called create-typescript-app repo. It's a nice little template that sets up a lot of nice tooling. Oh no, did the shadow not work for Todd? We have to wait another minute and a quarter. So in the honor of this being Preptember, the month before Hacktoberfest, I'm rolling out this template / updating usage of this template to all my repos. It's got a lot of nice like GitHub automations and contributing guides and such. So right now the repo I'm working on is this not super commonly used one called TS function inliner. It's a little TypeScript transform if you use that type of thing that like inlines little calls to small functions for the sake of saving space. So yeah, welcome. I ran it locally, and soon I'll push up a PR and then continue. But if y'all want to talk about like open source or development or TypeScript or any of that stuff, always happy to chat. About me, I'm a full-time independent open source maintainer in the TypeScript ecosystem. So I work on TypeScript, ESLint, and related projects that help you write code. Cool. What I'm doing now is just going through all the changes that the template thingy made. For example, now it says that it is based off of the this is a bug that I previously filed. TypeScript-app. So we'll add that. The template now has a lot of nice details for folks getting started developing on the repos. That's a nice addition. PR template updates. Sets up Renovate with Stability Days 3. Oh, that's renamed. We were just looking at this. Where is it? Here we go. So I'm going to have to file an issue for that. Yeah, oops. Stability Days. So I really like this feature, and it really hurts me. Lurking is a good plan. Oh yeah, we were going to shout out Todd. Really hurts me that GitHub's Dependabot doesn't have this, but whenever there's a malicious package release, a lot of package updaters like Renovate and Dependabot will automatically bump you to that version, and then you're at risk. So Renovate has this awesome feature called minimum release age. There we go. Previously called Stability Days, which is what I use in the templates. So accepting PRs, good first issue. It'll let you wait a certain number of days before bumping to a new package version. Really like that. Yes, so Renovate's update renamed its Stability Days feature to minimum release age, but this template still refers to it as Stability Days. And if we look at the templates, renovate.json, I can see here that it's mentioned there. Let's rename to minimum release age. And then, as with other rename property change things, there's also a template file. I'm surprised no one's chatting yet. Y'all just looking around happily? What do y'all want to talk about? How's life? How's everyone's summer going? Who has decorated for Halloween yet? We just started. I actually got these awesome little mugs. This is from a stackable set of 2 from Marshall Home Goods. Little pumpkins. Really nice. Boop. And this is in my post-menu migration milestone. Cool beans. You got the new Astro hat. Oh, that's exciting. Oh yeah, I think I saw Jason mention something somewhere, maybe Twitter, about Astro 3. Really excited about that. It's a great milestone they've hit. Their default port is now 4.3.2.1. So exciting. Cool. So file an issue. Another one. What? Also, let's see. What are the chances Blue Sky gives me a complaint here? And go. What is happening with Blue Sky? They hired Dan Abramov. They should have no bugs now. It never ceases to amuse me to shout out random people like that who don't even know who I am. Okay. So Renovate, I'm just going to leave it as is. This template will update itself. I'm going to go through another pass of all my repos and update things. Don't really feel like checking whether that Renovate option has been changed at all. All right, security, emailing GitHub at joshua.com. Got a prepare action. Switch from actions checkout to PNPM actions setup. Apparently they have different things. So no more yarn, now it's PNPM. I also now alphabetize properties in my YAML files. Fight me. I used to call them .yaml. I switched to YML. Someone told me one of those is preferred. Fine, whatever, consistency. Joshua, VS Code Git extension do I use? Great question. I use GitLens, I think. Yes, been using it for a while. Really like it. Super configurable. No complaints. If you have alternatives, let me know. If there's like a scrappy new upstart, but I like GitLens. Let's see if I can copy. Well, that's a nice little blurb. Great. What do you use? Do you have them? I'm just looking at these, staging it so I can see the diffs. Yes. Pretty interesting. All right. Workflows, build. Instead of yarn build, it's PNPM build. I also added to my build flows just running the created index TS file. It doesn't do any logic. It just makes sure you can run it. So like if someone forgets to put a .js extension in a thing that'll complain. That's happy. Compliance, contributors, these are good. Lint knip, so adding a bunch of YAML files around linting, which used to be just called like spelling instead of lint spelling. So let's find those. I think it's just spelling is here under the old name. Package, JSON and packages. Yep. Delete that. Pre-commit. Just blank line. VS Code. Alphabetize settings.json. Adding eslint.probe because those are now linted in the eslint config. It's a massive config. A little prettier difference. Yep, a little prettier shenanigan. Collect value. Alphabetizing by enums. Love to see it. Prettier diff. Prettier diff. Ooh. This I'm seeing. Extensions are missing. And I have since switched my repos to explicitly going for extensions in local imports because that's how Node works now with ESM. So let's fix those up manually because the lint rule doesn't have an auto fixer yet. There's an external bug mentioned somewhere. npm lints fix and then ptsc watch. TCP stream, welcome to the chat. Thanks for asking. Is this package meant for any TS project, back and front end packages? Great question. In theory, yes, but I will note that it's a super generic package. It doesn't have any templating for like Next.js or Express or Koa or Nest or any of those things. So it just has stuff that's generically useful for the vast majority of TypeScript projects, in my opinion. And that, in my opinion, is key here. This is not endorsed by like the TypeScript or ESLint teams. This is just like a me thing that I'm doing. So it sets up a lot of really useful stuff. My advice would be try it out, see what parts of it you like or don't like. Definitely file issues if you see bugs or opportunities for improvement in general. But if you have an existing package, it's totally reasonable, I think, to just cut and paste or copy and paste the parts of this thing you like, if there are any. Let me know how that goes, though, if you do try it. It's only been around for like a year or so, but I've only started really publicizing it this year. So definitely early stage seeking feedback. Alrighty, I see I have some complaints. Alright, so format from Prettier. Aha! So this is a fun one. I wrote... Also, y'all, I'll remind you. I'll post again. Let me know if you have any questions, things you want to talk about. TypeScript, development, open source. Always happy to chat. And let me know if I'm going too fast, if you want me to emphasize on something, zoom in, etc. But yeah, this TS function inliner package was written when Prettier's major version was 2. Now is 3. And I, just off the top of my head from seeing other breakages, know that Prettier switched a lot of its APIs, such as format and check, to be async. Because now they support async plugins or some such. Config plugins, I forget what they call them. Oh, and my chat is lagging. That's not good. Has anyone else's Twitch been a little off and on lately? Anyway, fan is off. Let's continue. So there is an app prettier/sync package you can use. You can add prettier sync. Oh, they removed types prettier? That's nice. Good call, thank you. PMPMI, PMPMD. Clear, PMPM. Good call out, Connor. All right, so now I suddenly have way fewer issues. Okay, so call signature, return type, source file to node, and transformer source file incompatible. Type node is missing, type source files. Okay, this smells to me like duplicate versions of something. Do I have like TypeScript duplicated or something? TypeScript is, what version are we at? 5.2.2. Looks Looks like all the references to TypeScript are at version 5.2.2. Look at me going through my lock file manually, like a cool kid. All right. So, transformer program takes in a program and creates this transformer factory, which is then returned. So ts.transformer factory, what is that? T extends node takes in a transformation context and returns transformer of T. So this should return transformer of T, which returns source file, which extends declaration, which extends node. So this should be assignable. Just quick TypeScript wizardry. It's a transformer factory of a source file, so it should work. So source file is a node. So it's complaining that the return type is off. Why did I write it this way? Why didn't I just like return? So I have this be an explicit return. And return this. I messed up my syntax somewhere. What did I call it? Return function transformer factory. Over there. Now why is it complaining? Same complaint before. Node or undefined. It's not assignable type transform factory. Okay, so it might return undefined? What the heck? So the source file is a transformation context. Did they change the API for this or something? Oh, I think this needs to return source file. Oh my god, this is getting convoluted. Let me just undo a bunch of stuff and go back to where I was. So I want it to be a transformer factory, which is a function that takes into context and returns a transformer. And function, so class transformer, ts.transformer, which takes in a ts.source file, and then we return the transformer. Just making these explicit so I see where the type's complaining. So I see the type's complaining. Source file to node is not assignable to type transformer source file. So the problem is it's what is this complaining? But I don't get it. We start TS server? Why is this complaining? I might not tackle this today, honestly. I might just like leave this for later for the builds, because I'm going to go through all my PRs again and get it merged. It's probably something really silly that I'm just missing. So a transformer takes in a node and returns the same type of node. So this... so this shouldn't return ts.visit node. This should return source file. Okay. Okay, so the problem was visit node was returning node or the thing or some other stuff, and it needed to just return. I needed to not return the result of ts.visit node. I needed to instead return source file. Okay. Well, that was annoyingly convoluted. Now I'm not confident that my tests still work, so let's run them. See how that goes. And they're broken. Love to see it. Yeah, they're not actually... Dang it. Urgh. Okay, so the types are as source. Node, source file visitor. p extends ts. So the problem is the visitor? Maybe if I switch the node to be a generic. Form inline. Result is a ts node. Visitor is node. Okay, so this is like kind of getting really intricate, and I don't like getting intricate. Let's see, visitor. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna use the cast here because I don't know why that's necessary, and I don't want to dive in too deep. Okay, so looking back at the changes, tests are just actually, does this ever import from prettier? It doesn't. I can switch the prettier dependency to a dev dependency, which it looks like it already is. Yay! And then just add prettier sync as the only prod dependency. Wait a second. Why is that prettier sync a production dependency? It's just used in tests. Ha. So I can, yes, I can just keep it as a dev dependency. Okay. Well, this was fun. Glad that's over with. So this is good to go. Just a bunch of prettier changes for the files themselves, along with that as assertion. Fun fact, difference between assertion and cast in TypeScript lingo. Casting in other languages sometimes refers to runtime casts, like taking a number and coercing it into a string, like actually changing value. So in TypeScript, a lot of us just use the word assertion because it's a dev time only thing. You're asserting, shut up TypeScript, it's actually some other type. Fun fact. Cool beans. So while PNPM is doing its magic, git add all, queue up command, build, migrate to create-typescript-app app1, git push u origin ts function. Come on. PNPM. Oh boy. Oh boy. What was that list of complaints? Let's see if I can get it up again. You, what? Sponsor, a little bit. How are you doing? Oh no, I missed a quote somewhere. Oops. There it is. Ooh. Also, hi. You don't like the name assertion because assertion in a test is naming is hard. I wonder. Oop, I forgot to check out. I forgot to. Wait, did I? Yeah, I forgot to make the branch. Oops. Yeah, naming is hard. I wonder if there's a name we could come to, like assertion, that isn't something that's already used in testing. That would be nice. I don't know what to put in this issue. Any other issues on the repo? No. Yeah, I was kind of excited to make this whatever number of months ago, but like I haven't used it since. I don't think very many people use it. I think it's just a cool proof of concept. So let me see. Bumps, since prettier is bumped from v2 to v3, as prettier sync has a dev dependency for tests. Created a white lie. little lies we tell ourselves. Yes. All right. So this is a fun. Ooh, forgot to mention it's issue 123. Love that number. And now you get to see how I expertly modify my markdown by copy and pasting it into VS Code, toggling word wrap, and then, where is it? Copy and pasting the PR. So that is the last of the under construction emoji. Sweet. Sort by sending. Yay! Which means that's the last of the repos that were originally made off of the template, which leaves us now with the repos that weren't made with the template, the ones that predate it. And I actually already have a PR open for console fail test from ages ago when I started working on the template. Oh, I should, where is it? I should post this on the socials. For those who are new here, we are up for, what was it, TS functioning liner. I post everything on social media so that we can track later what goes on, and I'll also put the recording of this on YouTube. Blue sky crash? Haha. Elian Swansor, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Jeez, 13 months, 4 months. Y'all are intense. That's hell, I've been here for a while. Over a year. Can you believe that? Can't believe I've been Twitch streaming for that long. Ooh, good stuff. Okay, so just continuing. Purchased a friend. That's the right phrasing. Thanks also for sponsoring me. Moving up now to another repo. Oh, we already see build failures here. Isn't that nice? PMPM. Oh, looks like I have lint complaints. Forgot to finish that. Let's get them locally. PMPM lint. PMPM lint spelling. Oh, I missed one. Haha. Markdown is now lint markdown. Let's delete this. Workflows test. Little squiggle there. That's like the empty, the nil indicator for YAML. The linter is not falsy is defined, but never used. Right, I lint the oh geez, I lint the code snippets in the package JSON, but you know what? I don't feel like that's super useful right here. I just export it. Oh, auto merge in Renovate. Huh. Is that why is C-Spell complaining about that in this one and not others? I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so now it's not complaining about it's not falsy, but it ooh, right. Module resolution Node.js was renamed to Node 10 because TypeScript's module resolution node actually was based off of Node 10, which is now out of date. So let's switch that to Node 10. It's the same value, just a different name. Gulp and Gulp TypeScript not published. What are you talking about? Gulp. Those are published. Those are dev dependencies. So, and no unpublished imports. Is there a docs page I can read up on this? Allow modules, so I guess I could just allow them, but resolve pass to do. Love to see that in docs. Yeah, I'm just gonna manually configure this in the ESLint config that I want to include, where is it? Allow modules gulp and gulp TypeScript. ESLint plugin n. Is there any n slash? And recommended is in everything, so these rules need to be configured for this repo, and we like them. I always put like nice little comments in my ESLint sections just to make sure that I'm documenting what the intent behind all these, turning things on or like just reconfiguring them to be different. Daxudo, glad you made it. Thanks for coming by. How you doing? TypeScript. Okay, so now pre-PMPM lint and PMPM lint spelling. Everything should pass. Yay! Fix linters. Okay. Okie dokie. Made it. I do like, oh, look at this, green checks everywhere. Getting tools ready for release is hard. Good luck with that. I know that's a whole thing always. What do we got going on? So this PR is clients happy, running builds, good. All right, next up, ESLint plugin expect type. This is a fun little repo. Got some history on it. So I did not make this. And I've been very careful in all of my phrasings of being a maintainer or contributor on it to phrase that I am not the original creator. I hate it makes me nervous, the idea that I'm taking credit for something I didn't do. It was actually this excellent individual, Igor, who did that thing originally and then passed it over, such as life in open source. Things pass between folks often. So ESLint plugin expect type is an ESLint plugin that lets you write little assertions in your code to make sure types match. It's a cool idea. It's something I've been meaning to get more deep on. I just haven't had time. I've been wanting to get through my template repo for a while before migrating to all these things, or like putting more effort in. So yeah, I've had a issue here for a while, almost a year now, saying I want to overhaul the dev flow, and I am now finally ready to do that. So let's begin. Code ESLint plugin expect type. Gonna migrate it. Get pull on the main. npx create-typescript-app. Now I'm just gonna type in mode everything, or mode migrate base everything, so it doesn't prompt me. Is that still useful in the satisfy world? Yes, it is. In my experience, folks who are using something like ESLint plugin expect type, or its equivalents, which by the way are linked in the bottom of the README, expect type, ts expect, tsd, they're using it as a tester often. It is a little weird to use an ESLint plugin as a tester, but it's an option some people like, and I want to make sure it's still maintained, so hence me here. But yeah, it is largely separate from what a lot of folks would use like the satisfy keyword for. Whew. One thing I've been doing is in all of these plugins, I've been, or all these packages, I've been trying to figure out what emoji would work for them. Can't you do the same with satisfy? Well, what if, let's say you want to make sure an object has a specific shape. Like you're writing a function that has like a generic type and it's conditional logic. You want to make sure like if it's input X, it returns shape Y. You can use that with satisfies, but something like ESLint plugin expect type would allow you to be a little more specific. Like saying it has to be specifically this thing, like number or like 0 or 1, rather than something that generally satisfies a number. Because satisfies can be kind of wide. It doesn't assert exactly what something is. This comes up to that keyword again, assertion. It's not an assertion. Satisfies is a type modifier, I would call it. It's not an assertion. Speaking of which, type assertions, what should I call this repo? Or what should we sorry, not what should I call it. What emoji should we use? What is this? Why is the alt text, the label on this thing, I'm a witness? What emoji is this? Satisfies can validate little types? Yeah, it can. But like this can be a little more specific with like object shapes. Assert, strict. I'm like wondering like shape, like what emoji? What emoji capture? Could I show an example? Absolutely. Let's see. So like 2/ assertions. Like let's say that you wanted this thing. It's like this is valid. Like const t is a number be on. If you use satisfies here, let's just put this in a new file. Export whatever. Let's just to get the linter satisfied. What is it complaining about? Oh, I need to update ESLint settings. Anyway, fun fact: there's a 2/ assertion extension VS Code that I use, so that's why this is showing up twice. Let me disable that extension for now. Good question. So like here, we want to assert, let's just say that const t is a result of something. Can I disable? Disable. Fine, whatever. Let's say that t is a result of something. Or result is the thing. Using satisfies here would actually change the value of it. Be like satisfies record string unknown would be a thing. Like let's say that you at type system time wanted to say this. So satisfies would actually change the value, whereas a type assertion, actually now I kind of want the now I want the extension. The type assertion, or the 2/ assertion rather, would say I'm not changing the type, I'm just asserting on what it is. Does that make sense? Or like here we could say like satisfies a 17 or 18 b string. Aha, here the satisfies actually changed the type of it and changed what the 2/ shows, which might not be desirable to every situation. Yeah, satisfies can change the type, right? A number be on, a number be, oh, maybe it doesn't change the type. My bad. Anyway, I'm a little tired. I need to study up on this. I remember there are reasons why to use this. You're right. Satisfies is... What is happening here? You're right. Satisfies doesn't change the type. I'm misremembering. But okay, so actually this is a good demonstration. Let's put a as 1 and then say it satisfies a 1 or 2. Here here we're saying satisfies a 1 or 2, but the 2/ assertion, let's get rid of the comment. The 2/ assertion could let you specify more specifically. Although my code allows it to be a 1 or 2, I want to make sure that right now the type is more narrow. It's the a 1. So the satisfies keyword is not the same in this case as the 2/ assertion. That's what it was. Yay. I've fumbled into an actual answer to your question, I think. Is this what you're looking for? I'm trying to remember, like, where else would one use this? You know, it's okay. A repo that one would use this, a repo that actually has a similar TSM plugin, we're going to eventually migrate over to maybe this, has a different syntax used, one that predates the thing. Like here, you would say expect type count number. Let's see, could we satisfies count number? So here, data is type count 1, so you could say satisfies count number. You know what? I'm tired and I don't remember. So in theory, you could use satisfies. I know there are subtle differences, but I don't remember them off the top of my head. Good question, though. You've stumped me. I'm stumped. Anyway, some people like the ESLint approach, to have a plugin that just runs into your comments. So I'm just going to go back to this and wonder, no one has answered yet. What emoji should I use? There's no squiggle. There's no type emoji. Object. One of these, maybe. Puzzle. Ooh. Puzzle it is. I like it. Thanks. Hell yeah. ESLint plugin expect type. Fun fact, Dan Vanderkam joined on as a maintainer also. Neither of us have done very much the last few months, but Dan's awesome. Dan wrote effective TypeScript. What was it? What's the name of it? Where is it? Do I not have the print copy on me? That's upsetting. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Effective TypeScript. Good book. All right, what is it complaining about? First, I can't remember why to use the package in the first place. Then it gives me, ooh, improperly escaped regular expression. That's unfortunate. So that's a bug. And the bug is the template migration script. Look at this. So there are two bugs. I'm going to get through them in order. One is that the template migration script doesn't properly escape the regular expression used to swap from the old description to the new description. So that's a bug. So I'm going to have to file that as an issue. There it is. Bug. So setup scripts crash on description with right X characters. So discovered. Working on this. I'm gonna just copy and paste that nice little command so I don't have to manually type it out again. Okie dokie. Migration setup scripts such as mode migrate should be able to plop in descriptions with characters like with special characters. And then what we actually got, oh no, was this. I'm gonna ignore this constantly updated local files thing here, because that's an issue on my end. Yes. Syntax error, invalid, or regular expression. So I'll just say that. Bug, syntax error. So this is a milestone post rename. I'm actually gonna tackle this now because this is gonna be a blocker. Submit new issue. But I'm also gonna file another issue. Bug. On updating local files after crash. So if something crashes during a setup script, e.g. this thing, then then nothing should still be running. Looks like updating local files, the timer animation on this is still going. This is a bug. I'm not going to tackle it now. I don't really feel like dealing with timing shenanigans. But I will record just a little bit. Y'all want to see my downloads? Date modified. Where is it? Desktop? Desktop is where it is. Oh boy. So before I start tackling them, let me just go ahead and post about them. A bug I'll tackle now. Syntax error on fancy description characters. Blue Sky. Oh, look at you, Blue Sky. Not crashing. Good for you. And one to tackle later. By the way, if anyone in the chat has opinions on satisfies versus ESLint plugin expect type, feel free to fill in for me and explain why one would use this library that I cannot remember why one would use over satisfies. That'd be great. Good stuff. Yeah, so what's happening with updating local files is that I had set up some timer logic internally to fill in a feature from the CLI spinners library called clack that this uses. And it looks like my timing logic is broke. It needs to dispose of itself when the program exits, and it looks like it's not. Ah, well, let's look at where this is coming from, this crash. So, update local files, line 31, and then New regular expression. Existing package dot description. So, if I go back to file, this is why we write unit tests in part, because now I can write a unit test and see that it still works when we have oh geez look at these giant old tests. It still works when we have it's not crash when given value with special regex characters. Script options, description. What was the description I ran with? Let's do that for now. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna finger slide on the keyboard. And let's put those in the ROM order. Cool. Plus, minus, or minus plus, those things equals, wait, minus equals underscore plus. Some of these fun little characters. Yeah, that's gonna, excuse me, that's gonna mess things up a little. And it doesn't crash. Existing package dot description. What? Where's the crash from though? So the crash is from line 31, which is this thing. So I'm gonna log flat existing package dot description. It dot only. Okay, so it doesn't even. Oh. The problem is refile save is that it's not the description in the existing package. There we go. And now it should, haha! So now it's crashing. And existing description with this crap. So now the task I need to do is create the regular expression safely. So JS create regex escape special character. Regex escape. Ooh, there's a proposal to standardize. Status stage 1. Oh. Regex escape. Q. Blah blah blah. Is there like an existing polyfill or whatnot? Does anyone know? Does anyone have a good like escaper? Ooh, Lodash has an escape regex. NPM package. Is there an existing package here? There are at least 3! Hooray! JavaScript. Published 11 years ago. With 0.001 weekly downloads. Great. 5.0. Oh, Centrosaurus. Solid. Yep, I trust this. Escape string regex. Escape regex. There we go. And then another. Okay, so here we go. This is good. Escape string regex. That'll work. I'm gonna add this thing. Escape string regex, and then the usage from the README is here, and then I'll just replace new regex. That's the usage. Okay, so pass it something, and then you regex it. Okay. So I'm actually gonna see if there's anywhere else I should see in addition to description. There are, okay, only 2 new calls to regular expression in this page. And what is this? No crashes. Yay! So that's cool. At the end of these, these. I've been using match inline snapshot on the mock calls, but what I'd rather do is just see what the expression, to see what it's actually been called with. I'll just do like a single assertion. I don't want to have like a giant thing here. PM run test, update snapshots, watch mode. Here we go. So from, oh, sweet lordy. So yeah, that is, I determined for test. Oh my god, look at those escapes. So that's what it gets called with. So I'm going to switch that to have been called with. Where is the... This is so silly looking that the syntax parser can't even figure it out. Like, what is this complaining about? Unterminated regular expression, literal. Let's get rid of every other one. Did that work? Oh my god, did that work? So close. Do I have to get rid of... Is it, instead of 3, is it now 1? Oh my god. I'm so close. Okay, where's the first difference? It's right before x2d. 1 more. So close. Wait, 1 extra. Ah, X2D is an escape code. Look at that. That's cool. So let's see if that works. So now, instead of running the MPX, what I'm going to do actually is run the local commands, like the repo that I have locally. So instead of MPX, it's node path by repos, create-typescript-app, bin index.js, and otherwise it's the same command. Oh, and I'm going to discard all my changes, starting from scratch. Node tilde slash repos. And, oh, I forgot to start the builder. npm build watch to get the updated version locally. Oh, dang it. That stupid bug. Get out of here. So let's see what the description gets. Well, that's not good. Shah! Welcome. How's it going? Welcome back. Been a little bit. Oops, I accidentally pinned a message. Ooh, how do I unpin? Light mode. What do you have against light mode? Specifically, what issues does using light mode cause for a developer? Specifically, what are the downsides of light mode? I would like to know. It's very light. That's true. One could say the same about dark mode being very dark. That's true. It's not dark, correct? And dark mode isn't light. That's true. For context, I've synced basically everything to my system that I can. Dark nice, light not nice. So I have auto, so like at night I switch to dark mode, and during the day it's light mode. Lol. I love this. I love, like, we've just decided that this is a fringe, a wedge issue that we all care about. It's easier in my eyes, therefore I'm doing it. Accessibility, y'all. Meet people where they are, not where society's preconceived notion of what color scheme you should be using is. What I'm confused about, though, is it's no longer crashing, but the dollar signs are escaping things. So I need to fix that. Git add all, git reset hard head. I can't watch my stream in bed without lighting the entire room. That is actually, for the first time in quite a few stream discussions on this, the first valid description of why one wouldn't want light mode. And it is unfortunate that my chat is in dark mode. So I'll switch to dark mode since y'all made a good point. Thanks, Nico. Swansor. Dark mode. Voila. So I want to save regular expression this, but I think I need a little bit more. I think I also need to replace all $sign with the escaping of it. See if that does anything. Yeah, it's 4 in the afternoon for me. Oh no, look at that. It like briefly had it? Oh, and then it swapped back to. I don't know how to fix this, and I don't think I'm gonna get to it during the stream today. How to swap out the description. You know what I wonder I could do as like a workaround? I bet you I could actually I can do a direct text replace instead of a regular expression. So, but why is this a regular expression in the first place? I don't even think it needs to be one. Why don't I just do existing package.description instead of all this hullabaloo? Ooh, I like this. I'm using the default dark mode. Yeah, I normally don't customize my themes much. I just go with whatever default stuff is there. Helps me build empathy for, well, not empathy, but it helps me build, like, practice getting used to it for when people come in with the stock, which is the most common. I also never been super into theming. It's been a while. Oh, I think I see why we're doing this. It's for the global replace. Like mode if it's gray instead of pure white. Yeah, I can see a use case for that. Because the dark mode isn't pure black. The light mode is like much closer to pure white. See that package. So during the day I actually do prefer light mode. During the night I do prefer dark mode. And it's really unfortunate that there's no like built-in streaming capability to like dynamically swap what themes people are using. But there are like studies that show that in different cases, light mode versus dark mode are better or worse, one or the other for people. And it's always annoyed me that people like, not annoyed me, it's amused me sardonically that people like get all into like dark mode. That's is my OBS frozen? Okay. Ryan, it was a pleasure having you as always. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, I think another thing I want Twitch to do is be able to toggle audio streams separately from each other. Like if I have background music, I want to be able to express that to you, but I personally hate it when people have background music because, or rather, I don't hate it. I prefer when people don't have it so I can listen to my own. Like I don't want to assert that you have to listen to my stuff. It's distracting. The internet really was not made for dark mode. There's a streamer who lets chat. But what if that's awesome, but what if one of you wants light and another wants dark? Life is hard. Ugh. It didn't work. I wanted to replace. What happens if I swap-a-roosies here? It's still what? What is happening? Alright, so I'm gonna replace hello. Just to see, is this doing? Okay, so it is updating. So is this library like swapping out under the hood for me to a regular expression and then that's frustrating. Is it also modifying the README? Yeah, so the underlying library, I think, is swapping out to regular expression. I don't know what to do here. I might have to get to a different library, but I really don't want to. This library not replacing file is doing pretty well for me. I wonder if there's an issue on the repo for this. Package escape in, what is it? Replacing file. Let's look it up on GitHub. Are there options? From to, where are these documented? Replacements, glob, ooh. No, that's which files are being touched, encoding. Ooh. It's got CLI options. Custom processor. Oh. So that's fancy. Maybe I'll have to do that. Replacing all from to custom regular expressions. Callbacks. Might have to get fancy. Regx and 2. This is not a well-described issue. Can use the retro from where can add a new feature where right now from can be regular expression and 2 is supposed to be string. This is causing problems. I don't understand. Same. Moving on. Replacing with variables sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. This is close is completed. Great, love to see it. Well, I wonder. Hang on. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I was messing around with the input, but what I want to actually change is the output. Is that the issue? I'm just being silly. Clearly I'm being tired. I'm being a silly boy. Let's make another restore point here. Copy pasta. What happens if we try this now? Skip. Oh yeah, I'm gonna see if I can just like start skipping expensive things. Skip GitHub API and skip install. GitHub API, skip install, and then also exclude contributors. So I'm swapping out all the stuff that takes a while, like network calls and whatever. Some little features of the package template. And another invalid expression. Right. So I wanted to escape both of them. Because both the input and the output could be this new fancy shindig. Updating local files, still running. Nope. So that didn't work. What if I do options.description.replace? Well, that didn't work. Let's see if I do it with a function. Nope. I don't know what's happening, and I don't have the time to figure this out, so I'm going to say this is not a good first issue. This is actually more complex than I thought it was. Interestingly, I think there are 2 touch points that make this a non-trivial issue. The input regular expression in, what is it, update local files, TS, update local files needs escaping. I was able to use, what was the escape string regex, which is on here, for this. the output description also needs some kind of escaping or swapping from regex to plain text. For clarity, it kept getting printed as, what was it? Note the lack of prefix words. Yeah, so this is something I'll have to tackle, and I don't have the mindset to do it now because I'm kind of tired. I've been streaming for a while. So, well, excuse me. I'll say let's file this as a to-do for later. And in the meantime, I'm gonna just find a replace. Where is it? Holy crap! Look! Oh my God! Is my command line? I was running on the command line. Oh, look at that! Look at that right there. The command line. This might be a bug. Edit. Oh, the CLI output for a rerun suggestion was corrupting the description. Maybe that was the issue. Aha! Love it. So what I actually wanted to do was... Oh, wait, no. I was running with the right description, and it was failing me. So that was nice. So it's just an additional thing, not a... Just kidding, it was fixed for earlier things. All right, so that's fun. So I want to swap the description in everything that mentions it. So that'll be a little bit of manual work because the template repo migrator is not doing it for me. Expect error and expect type assertions. Yeah, the annoying thing about this is that it's tricky. The nice thing is that it is something I don't actually have to do. I can just move on. .org. For now. Anyway, time to go back through all the changes. This will be the last thing I do before I sign off for the day. So if y'all have any last questions or things you want to ask or talk about, let me know. Otherwise, in however long it takes, hopefully 10 to 20 minutes at most, I'll sign out and go raid someone else. Hi, I developed a trivia game for App Store. Be happy to get feedback. It's the first game you write to do on App Store. Cool. I don't know that that's super relevant here unless it's written in TypeScript or JavaScript, but good for you. Congrats. So this ES Unplugged and Expect Type repo predates a lot of my tooling, and I don't think I ever actually onboarded most of my tooling to this thing. So a lot of things like all contributors are newly added. This is a formatting thing. ESLint ignore not just coverage and dist, but coverage, lib, modules, and so on. ESLint, oh yeah, the ESLint RC was quite a bit expanded now. Git ignore, coverage, lib, modules, dist coverage. Yep. Markdown, lint. Okay, so I did have some tooling here. Markdown, lint, ignore. Yep. This is all looking good. Ooh, I can just remove that. Pretty RC swapped out from Pretty RC to JSON. Yeah, I'm going with much more default options now. Release it, automated releases. Love that for me. Spell checker. Yeah, this used to use Just. Now I'm going to switch it to VTest because that's what all my repos are using because VTest is really nice and fast. Also, there is a typo. Use complied instead of compiled. I wonder how often this shows up. Use underscore. Well, it's been deleted, so it doesn't show up in texting. Anyway, not something I particularly feel a need to preserve, so we can continue with this deletion. Knip is a new thing. Oh, the license. What was the license beforehand?
expect type. Oh yeah, sorry for the dark mode was. Yeah, swap my system theme over. License. It's just a plain text file. So this actually is something to be wary of. I'm not gonna swap the license because that's like a whole can of worms. You need like permissions and all sorts of stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna just rename the license file to license.md and leave it at that. Just make sure MIT is not mentioned anywhere. So it's Apache 2.0, I believe is the Apache license version 2.0. Yeah. Okay. Gotta be careful with the legalities. No more package lock because now we have a beautiful PNPM setup. Yeah, version got wiped. That's no bueno. Formatting's different. So the main is distindex. Sorry, the main was distindex. Now it's libindex. Files was dist. Now it's lib, package JSON license, and readme. License statute 2. Engines is updated. Node 14 is end of life, and Node 16 is about to be, so I'm not too worried about that. Keywords. Yep. Respecting all the existing ones. Good. Peer dependencies. Make sure those are preserved also. Peer dependencies. Yep, they're preserved. Dependencies are preserved. TSES lints utils and FS extra. Good. Types ES tree. Let's add that to the C spell. I just, whenever I see a blue squiggly of something that should be allowed, I add it over. While this is happening, I'm gonna pm I dedupe clear pmlet. Yep. Cool. Added some words to C spell. Package JSON is looking happy. Tconfig is looking happy. Read me. Let's just open that all at once. So we have the new header, which apparently is duplicated. Oopsies. Must have done a silly. Switch from a let to a const. Thanks, linting. Problem is. I'm gonna rename this to value. I just don't want to. 9,000. There we go. Make sure that's all happy. Looking good, and then yeah, a couple of this package is based on. So let me shamelessly advertise myself at the bottom. VB is looking good. PNPM lock is deduped and installed. Husky, command not found. I've seen this before. I don't know where it comes from, but if you remove the prepare in your package JSON, then pnpx husky install it comes, it's fixed. You can add it back. PMI, npm sh husky not found. Add husky d. Maybe husky wasn't a dev dependency. It wasn't. That's not good. Oh, you know what? I might have, I ran the template in skip install mode, and it just didn't install all the dependencies that it needs. So that's unfortunate. So, finalize dependencies. Let's see. Is there like a test file I can get the snapshot? Install spaceless commands. Add. Nice. Add all these things. Beautiful. Okie dokie. I just deleted that message in the chat because I don't think it was useful for this stream. Anyway, now that the
installs are happy. Let's move on while the package is updating. tsconfig, oh yeah. Adding in declaration and declaration map. Adding in target as ES2022 instead of the older 17. Outdoor is now lib instead of dist. Source maps enabled, good stuff. tsup is the builder. Nice. vtest is the tester. Command vtest. Code of conduct. Was it on like an older version of the contributor covenant? So I'm on, I use the standard contributor covenant. And yeah, this was on version 1.4 and now it's on 2.1. That's cool. Code of conduct. Contributing. Yep. New contributing guide. Makes me happy. Development guide. Wasn't there before. Boop, boop, boop. Issue template. Updated. Yes, so the general one is mostly there to allow people to use a template. Renovate is added. Nice. Security is added. Swap the email out. I have an issue to be able to be a little more granular in which emails used where. So the actions are good. Issue templates are happy. Let's look at the workflows. So similar to before, lint is now its own name. I don't see any issues here. Nice. That makes me happy. Build. Oh yeah, these are all added newly. So that explains why there wasn't anything wrong earlier. And push is modified. Push previously, push is the workflow previously that did build, format check, lint, and test. So now this is, I can just delete this file because it's captured by a whole bunch of other workflows. Yay. On push to main, I can also delete because that was used to publish, and I now have a dedicated release YAML workflow file for that. Yay! Let's add all this stuff. Looks like the package settled. Git ignore in .husky. Yeah, so some Husky files, list of VS Code suggested extensions, and VS Code launch file. Nice. So if we do pnpm, tsc, watch, and pm, are there test files? And do I have imports from Jest? No, I don't. But I do have, missing.js extensions. Which TypeScript will complain on, so we'll fix those up. Oh, only 9 complaints. That makes it easier. Ooh, look at that. Clean and smooth. So now that TypeScript's happy, I'll run knip, npm, add ESLint plugin, perfectionist. Ugh. Am I going to have to add in a whole bunch of these? See if there's oh my god, you know what it was? Installs the, I went from the wrong one. So this is the copy pasta for when you exclude a bunch of stuff. I want to add in the dependencies, all of them. Just restart that. Lordy, look at all that. Okay, so once that giant command finishes, then I'll have all my dependencies installed. Okay, and go. And ooh, what is with these socket connection timeouts? Has anyone else been seeing these on their pnpm installs? I haven't been using any other package managers to know if it's like me specific or pnpm or what, or npm's registry. Somewhere something is being unhappy. So that's no good. Anyway, moving down the list of changes. So, the linter sorted the snapshot files that were made. That's funny. Oh my god, it took a minute to install. npm dedupe. That's a while. lordy, this is getting more complex. Oh yeah. So I forgot to delete the index files that the setup script mucks up. tsc-w to get it yelling at me about. Oh boy. So export. So import rules. So instead of export equal, I just have to swap it over to like manual exports. So instead of that like weird inline object shenanigan, I can just put things in line. JS imports and exports. Rules is barrel export needs to be index. Format document forms. Yeah, prettier is not even able to do its thing. That's funny. All right, PMPM format right. There we go. And PMPM lint. This is gonna be rough, probably. Probably a lot of complaints here. Yep. Love to see it. Missing file extensions. Oh, yeah, let's replace that in. Unexpected comments in tsconfig.json. JSON C is enabled in. So JSON C is enabled for all star.json files. And then I turned off no comments, the rule complaining about these comments, in apparently just star.json C, but should also turn it off for tsconfig files. Can I specify file names? Does it have to be like any directories tsconfig? Nope, looks good. All right. A few more file extension complaints. Rules expect JS. Snapshot. What is this complaining about? I'll wait to fix up these implicit any complaints until I've fixed up all the extension complaints. You never know which ones are because of that. All right. So we're good. ESLint doc generator RC. What the heck? What is this? I believe, if I remember right, there is a package. ESLint. I'm going to just copy and paste this file name, see what it shows up on Google. There's a package people use to generate your. That's right, bmish ESLint doc generator. Great little package, by the way, for anyone interested. It's automatic documentation generator for ESLint plugins and rules. So that's something I'll have to mention in the development guide here. ESLint plugin, expect type. Let's look at the existing code. Let's see what it's like. Doc. So there was actually. There we go. So there was actually a lint docs, and so lint docs is now lintmd, but then there was also lint ESLint docs. So I'm gonna. Why is it npm run all if it only does one thing? Seems unnecessary. Update lint docs and in check mode. What is update ESLint docs? Okay, so that's just ESLint doc generator -- check. And then, so I'm gonna make this another command, build docs. Which means now in my workflows, not only am I building, I'm also build docs-ing. Build docs. So that's a big thing to do. Also, npm add ESLint doc generator. Yeah. That's a dev dependency. Lint. So I'm going to have to add a YAML file for that too. Lint. Let's copy and paste this to lint ESLint docs. It's ESLint docs. We're just going to call this docs. Keep it simple. Lint underscore docs. And in development.md, under the big old list of all the different docs things, ESLint doc generator makes sure generated MD documentation matches ESLint rules source. Fine. So I previously put building as section, so building docs run ESLint doc generator to auto generate MD documentation for ESLint rules. Shell npm run build docs. Okay. npm run build docs. Let's see what happens there. And it's ESLint doc generator. See, okay, it's complaining about this file being this object. So can I? Okay, what's the? What do I do here? Module.exports equals config. Is there an ESM ECMAScript modules option here? No. Well, config equals module.exports equals config. Can I do this? Does it need to be? Can it be? It says it supported anything by Cosmic config, so maybe I can use a CJS for it. Unable to. JSON? Does that work? Unable to determine plugin entry point. What is this? What is this saying? What's the issue here? Oh my god. Oh my god. I filed this issue in May. I should. Oh, and I sent a PR to fix it. What happened? Is this oh, the build is failing. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I should check up on this. So the bug is that oh geez, now I like undid so much. I want to set it back to CJS. Okay, so the issue is that like my package JSON is wrong. Plugin entry point dist/index.js, so it needs to be main lib. Okay, so you need to build the lib index before running the doc generator. Got it. So if I do npm build, which means docs YAML needs a npm build first, so that's cool. Build docs. Unable to lib index.js. Why is it? So there is a main type module main lib index, and the main exists. Yeah, I don't have the energy to look into this now, so I'm just gonna put this in the PR and let it fail for now because I don't have the time to really look at this. Love it. So I'm also gonna have to get tests to work. See how that goes. That might break. No test suite found. Run tests. Rule tester. Oh man, we even have a new package in TypeScript ESLint for rule testing. It's add TypeScript ESLint rule tester. It's a fork of the ESLint, so don't get me started on that whole shebang. So that's a thing. Oh, and that should be a dev dependency. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now because I'm getting tired and irritable, and I don't want to keep going. So this is the starter build, migrate to create TypeScript app at 1. It's a work in progress. The install isn't even done, so that file is going to break the build. This is fine. Work in progress. But it does address an existing issue, I think. Was it number 70? Yeah. So I'll make it as a draft. Yeah, that one, this one took a while, so I am pleased to be done with it. Over 11,000 lines added and 12,000 removed. Love to see it. Look how huge this dungus is. Whee! Whee! Love it. A lot of formatting changes. In theory, what I might do is make a note to self. I might apply just the prettier changes on the main to main in a separate PR first, just to reduce diff count here. And then I can add a git, what is it? Git revs ignore GitHub? There's a file. Yeah. Then I can use a git blame ignore revs file. There it is. To ignore them. Don't want to take too much credit for the code in this repo. Yeah, look at all those complaints. I'm gonna see if I can git add commit and finished installing and push. I'm gonna queue up a git add all, git commit m, dedupe, git push in this terminal in case that finishes and makes changes. So now that finished installing is happening, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, oh, one last thing to post. This one took a while. This was a pleasure. Thanks y'all for tuning in. It's always fun to see the numbers slowly trickle back down to normal levels, 10 to 20 at most, rather than 69 when someone streams, or 77 at peak, I think. So, yeah, this was a pleasure. Thanks, y'all. Just to recap, I'm going to raid and I'm going to outro myself. My name's Josh Goldberg. Joshua K. Goldberg in all the socials. I wrote a book, Learning TypeScript. Buy it now. I'm a full-time open source maintainer in the TypeScript ecosystem. So I work on TypeScript ESLint and a bunch of other random projects, such as the ones you are watching today. So if you could sponsor me, that'd be great. I don't have a full-time job with a company. I'm just independent. And if there's anything you ever want to talk about, open source, dev work, TypeScript, life, whatever, let me know. Always happy to chat. Last thing now is to pick someone to raid. No one I follow is live, which seems off. I don't know how that happened. So let's, if any of y'all have a suggestion, let's find someone. If not, let's see what my Twitch TV looks like. See if anyone's streaming TypeScript things. I normally get, this person has a Rick roll up. I'm just immediately that's who I'm gonna go for. So /raid channel. That channel is follower or subscriber only chat. Okay, sure, why not? Well, see y'all around. This was a pleasure. Bye.